And we are live. Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Moda from Mama, the undisputed African queen. I appreciate everybody who is coming in, who is not here yet. They're going to come in. I'm your girl, Moda from Mama. Excited for this live. Before you get to that, oh, my battery is my battery. I need to. All right. I have my charger here. I have my charger here. All right. Before we get to that, I know you're all excited to see Anthony, which is it's a little bit offensive because y'all not come over here to see me, which is fine. It's okay. It's your girl, Mona from Mama, the undisputed African queen. Let's get into this, you guys. Hello, can you see me? Hi, everybody. It's excited for this Friday. How to end Ready to Love Miami that have the only gentleman that we had on the cast because everybody else was like, listen, don't get me started. But I am here. Okay, I am here not to be messy, you guys, because the gentleman that I have over here is not messy. So I'm gonna have to behave myself on this platform. I'm talking about Anthony. Let's bring Anthony over here. All right, you guys. Anthony in the building. Hi, Anthony.
What's going on, Mon? How are you?
Good to have you here. What's going on in Miami?
It's hot outside. It's pretty
Is it?
hot, but it's yeah, it's hot out here today. But it's cool though. We used to it.
Oh, I live in Buffalo, so it was a little bit cold. That's why you see me wearing this. It's actually not. Yeah, yeah. I need you to visit.
Mm.
Just when it's too hot over here, you can always come to Buffalo.
Buffalo. I'll think about it. I'll let you know.
All right, all right, all right. So very excited to have you here. All right, everybody is already on the comments. I don't distracted with the comments. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, now getting to this conversation that I'm gonna have with Anthony. At what age were you when you became a dad?
Oh, I was 34. Yeah, I was 34 when I had my daughter. To be honest with you, I didn't really want children. To be honest with you, I always had a fear of having children. So when I found out that I was having her, I was kind of in shock. To be honest with you, until she came out. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
I can hear you now.
Okay, I was saying that I was kind of in shock when I found out that I was having a daughter, you know. So until she came out, I kind of was just kind of still going through my shock. I was going through the motions. I was at the doctor's appointments. I was planning. I was buying clothes. I was doing all that stuff. But as far as like it really hit me, it didn't hit me until she came out.
How long were you in that relationship?
We were um we were two years in. We were 2 years in at that point.
I cannot, Anthony. Can you speak up a little bit?
I said
Or
we
should I
were
add
two
my
years
volume on
in
my
at that
end?
point. Yeah, probably add it up a little bit because I'm pretty loud. I'm like,
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, say that one more time.
I said we were 2 years in at that point.
2 years. All right, all right. So then you're really. Uh, how old were you?
I was 34.
Not now. At the time.
Well, how I was 34 at the time. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I was 34 at the time, though. How you think I
Really?
am now? How you think I am now?
I was gonna say that early 30s.
So I actually turned 40 in October.
Get out.
Yeah.
Okay, black don't crack. Okay, okay. I'm here for it. I'm
Definitely.
here for it. All right. So so then you become a dad, all right. Did you feel you are well equipped to handle the role of being a dad? And what
Oh, who
prepared you to
knows?
feel like,
Um, to be honest with you, I want to say what prepared me was men that I got to know over the years who were fathers. Before I was even a father, like I was taking notes. Even though I was like, well, I don't really want any kids, I still was very observant on how they treated their kids, how they maneuvered, how they raised their kids, what they put into their kids. So I want to say that really prepared me to be a father. Because I didn't have a father in my life. I didn't grow up with a father. So if I was relying on that, I'd have been lost, you know?
hmm. And going back to that, how was your upbringing? Because if you did not have father growing up, then that's a challenge. Really learning from first hand on how to deal with things as a father, as a partner.
I agree. I think my upbringing, I was raised by a single mother. At first, it was just three of us boys at the time, raising us up until a certain age. Then she had another two boys at the time. And then she got married and had my sister. At that part, my grandmother raised me from then on. So I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather until he passed away, and then my grandmother raised me.
I'm sure they're very proud, just like the way we are all proud of you because we just got to know you from the show. But I'm like, oh my gosh, Anthony, yes, Anthony. I know you are. Well, so you still keep in touch with your daughter's mom, correct? You still have good.
Oh,
You still keep in
yeah, we
touch.
talk every day. We like really friends. We like really good friends, to be honest with you. When you have two people that come together and they have a goal, and that goal is raising this little girl a certain way because she came from a household kind of like what I came from. So even before we even
Mhm.
had kids, we always maneuvered and said what we would do if we ever had kids. We kind of put certain things in place. We didn't really manifest it like that, but we always said, this is who I want to be. This is who I would like to have kids with. This is the kind of person I love to co-parent with. And to be honest with you, it was rough at first, but once you get the emotional aspect out of the way, you can be great co-parents if you both have the same goals at the end of the day.
And to follow up on that, we have very many single moms, and I just don't want to talk about black single moms, but we have many single black women raising their children. Do you have any advice on those situations? Whether it's your black is a single dad or is a single mom, what advice would you give to those people
Wow, that's such a
or those
serious book, to
parents?
be honest with you. Um, I want to say just put your kids first. You know, no matter who comes into your life, man, woman, partner, always put your kids first. Make them feel like they're included. Don't exclude your kids from your relationship. Have them join in, and make sure that person that you're with after you're single and you bring into your child's life, make sure they understand the assignment. Make sure they understand, like, hey, I need you to be active. I need you to be this. I need you to be that. I need you to pick a person that is going to benefit your child and teach your child something, not just the person who's going to pay half the bills or pay the bills or just be a presence. You know what I mean? And just watch your child grow up. If somebody's in your house with you, they should definitely be contributing to your child and raising them.
Has that been a challenge for you with dating, that realizing you're not here for the right reasons? I have a daughter that I have to protect. What are your intentions? What is it that, and at what point do you feel comfortable to introduce your daughter to whoever you're dating? Did you introduce your daughter to Cynthia?
Um,
That's a good one.
so
Go
that
ahead,
is a good
Anthony.
one. I like that one. So Cynthia did meet my daughter, but in passing. Never like spent time with my daughter or dwell on it. It's always been in passing. Like I took my daughter to the
Okay.
premiere party that we had, and Cynthia met my daughter in passing. I also had a function at my house one time for one of the viewing parties, and my daughter came out, greeted everybody, and then went back to her room. So it's never like, hey, um, baby girl, this is such and such, and this is such and such, this is daddy friends or anything like that. It's always been in passing.
Do you have a timeline where you feel like, what, I now have to introduce you to my daughter? Do you have a timeline, or you go by the vibes and the energy?
Um, in my previous relationship, it happened pretty fast. It happened kind of out of my control. And it gravitated to that person had a child as well. So my daughter grew an attachment to that person. So I definitely say the next time around, I'm definitely going to take my time. I don't have a timeline for certain, but just when I know where I am with that person, and I see that person for the long term, then I'll go ahead and introduce that person to my daughter at that point.
I love that. Now, you're a nurse practitioner. What made you get to healthcare profession? What made you? I mean, do you have healthcare professionals in your family? What made you get into that field?
The crazy part about that is when I graduated high school, I never was in education. I was doing what 17, 18-year-old boys doing, running the streets, causing trouble, being rebellious and everything. So when I got out of school, everybody's like, go get a craft, go get a this, go get out of the streets, stop doing what you're doing. So I went to a city college and I sat there and I went to go be like an EMT paramedic. When I found out how much money they made, I walked out. And I had nurses in my family. My aunts at the time were nurses. And they always like, oh, you should be a nurse, you should be a nurse. And my grandmother used to say, don't tell him that. Men aren't nurses. Men are doctors or men are cops or men are this, but men aren't nurses. My grandmother said that growing up in the Caribbean household. So I decided to go to the military. So I went to the army for 4 years. I did my time. I came out. I said, you know what? There has to be something better in life for me to do. And I started working in the hospital, in the emergency room, as an emergency medical technician paramedic. And when I got there, I ran into maybe two or three male nurses who were very respected, made very good money. They were intelligent. And I was like, I thought men aren't nurses. So what's going on here? Man, I went back to school so quick and pursued nursing after that.
I like the way you said, men are not supposed to be nurses because, when we think about a nurse, we are thinking about, a mother, caring person, and we are thinking about military, right? And
Right.
having a daughter who was, sick in the hospital, and I stayed in the hospital for so many days. I appreciate men who are nurses, who would come there and give us all the services. So I get what you're saying. Um, Now let's switch to love, and I mean ready to love, right? Ready to love. First of all,
Right.
I appreciate you for getting up in the morning and trying to save those lives. Not forget about all what you're going through and getting to that hospital and realizing I have to give everything I have, encouraging those patients. I appreciate you for that. I've been on the receiving end, so I appreciate you for doing that. um
Thank you. I appreciate
so
that.
many immigrants, when we come here, we will be like, you have to be a nurse, you have to be a nurse, because we think about the money, we don't think about the services that
Exactly.
what I mean. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you for doing that. How did you get in touch with Ready to Love, though? Let's get to Ready to Love now.
To be honest with you, Ready and Love got in touch with me. Um, they actually contacted me a few times. The first time, I think it must have been for season one that they contacted me. But I got a weird text message in my phone, and somebody texted me and said, "Hey, I'm such and such. Somebody gave me your phone number and thought that you'd be interested in doing this." And I ignored it. I didn't pay no attention to it. After a couple more text messages, I said, "You know what? Email email the information to my assistant and I'll have him take a look at it and I'll get back to you." Well, that email sat there for so long unopened, we didn't even open it for a while. And then later on, like months went by and they contacted me again through social media. And it was like, hey, we have this show, Ready to Love. We feel like you'll be an eligible bachelor. Why don't you interview? So I interviewed, and I thought it was a joke, to be honest with you. I interviewed, I went through the evaluations. Like things went so quickly. I overheard, I think I was like the last man to get on or something like that, something crazy. Um,
Mm.
and I was actually about to leave to vacation when the producer
So
called me and
then
said,
you
"Hey,
you you get in touch with, so they get in touch with you. I'm sorry, am I freezing?
yeah, you are."
Sorry.
It's okay.
Finish your line of
So the
thought. Finish
producer,
your line of
so
thought.
the producer called me and said, "Hey, you're on. Like, I need you to stay home for 2 weeks and stay home for 2 weeks in quarantine, and we'll go from there." So that's when I found out I was on the show.
So then you had to take time off from work.
I did definitely. I couldn't work the way that I work, the hours that I work, and do the show. So I had to take a lot of time off from work.
Wow. So then you break this news to the family. How are they reacting? Are they supportive? Are they like, Anthony, come on now, this is bullshit? How what are they saying?
I didn't tell him. To be honest with you, my best friend knew. We coordinated everything. We talked about everything. One cousin knew because she helped me with my daughter with my timing and everything. But I told absolutely nobody until it was done and about to air that I was on it.
You did not tell them?
Nobody knew.
And at what point did you tell them?
When I found out when the show was gonna get released.
Oh my god. You never even told the guy that you brought to meet Cynthia?
So he knew when I needed him. And he was actually in Chicago at the time working. That's my little cousin. He lives here in Miami as well. But he was in Chicago working. So I called him and said, hey, I need you to do me a favor. So he actually flew down and he did that for me.
Wow. So then you get to the okay, so then you get to the show and you get to the mixer and you're meeting these
Mhm.
beautiful women. What is going on in your mind? You're meeting all these what's going on?
So I pulled up to the mixer and I still thought it was a joke. Like I thought it was some Miami scam, like I really didn't believe what was going on. Um, So I got there and pretty much I sat in my car for like 2 hours. And the producers came to check on me and bring me water. And I couldn't see anybody. They parked us down the street. I couldn't see anybody that was on the show. And I think to my left, Demario was in the car. So I'm like looking over, like, okay, this must be one of the dudes. Where are the women at? So they pull up a car and they say, Anthony, we need you to get in this car. So I get in the car and they say, Anthony, when you get out of this car, walk straight through the doors, close the door, grab a drink, and good luck to you. That's all the instructions they gave me. Oh, and they said talk to everybody. That was it.
Oh my.
So I did that, and the mixer happened. It was a long day. I think it was like a 14 to 16 hour day that day. Hot Miami sun in the middle of the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
Ah.
bad.
So do you find anybody attractive at that point, or you're just exhausted?
Oh, definitely. No, no, no. You kidding me? Like, um, I found maybe 5 women just visually attractive at that time. Later on,
Hmm.
there's more to add to that. But visually, I found five
Hmm.
women right up with that attractive.
And who are these five? I know Suan. I know Mercedes. Who else?
Um,
Oh, I know
oh, you
Morgan
know,
because I'm gonna ask you about Morgan. Go ahead.
okay, so Morgan, Suan, Mercedes, Marcia. So that's four at the time. So Cynthia she came later. So I guess four. There was 4 women.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Camille. Dr. Camille is in the building. Okay, so then, so you have Suen, whom I love and adore. You have Mercedes, a
Mhm.
beautiful girl. You have Morgan. Why I do not get why you're attracted to that woman. Okay, and then we have Marcia. Why were you on a dating app with Morgan, Anthony?
So it's crazy because like literally I work so much so I don't get out. So I went to DC to visit some friends at the time, and I was at the table with these guys,
Anthony,
and
this is
everybody.
Camille from Ready to Love DC, and she was from Ready to Love DC, and she's saying, how long did you sit in the car? Because that's not a joke.
Oh
Because
man,
she
Camille,
would call. She was
I was in a car from like 10 a.m. was my showtime. I don't think I left that car until between 12 and 1. To be honest with you.
okay. Tell us about Morgan because I'm getting
Okay,
there with
so
Morgan. Go ahead.
so it's crazy. I was at the table with these guys and they showed me the dating app. I had known nothing about it, so I registered. So when I flew back home, I got back on it one night at work, and me and Morgan hit it off. We ended up exchanging numbers that same night. So we FaceTime each other that same night. Had a long conversation. I mean, maybe like 2, 3 hours. Watched the whole church sermon together, critiqued it together, talked about it, and we got off that call and we never spoke again.
So So when you get to the mixer, do you see her? Do you recognize her? Do you apologize for all the failed dates that you had with her?
What do you? Hold on a second. We only talked one time on the phone. Right? We FaceTime each other one time. There was no failed dates. We talked one night and we never spoke again.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she seemed to say that it was kind of not just one night situation, and that's why I was coming to you because you're such a gentleman who carries himself with integrity. I do not see you with somebody who is like Morgan. I might say, uh, I digress. I digress, Rosina. Listen,
Morgan,
I
look,
respect
Morgan's a
you.
beautiful girl. Morgan's special. So we get to the mixer, and Morgan comes walking down the stairs, and I see her, and automatically I'm filled with faces. So she comes up, she greets me, hey, I'm Morgan, how you doing? I was like, I'm thinking in my head, like, I know who you are. What do you mean you're Morgan? So I shake her hand, I say hi. We actually have a couple of conversations that day, and I never say anything to her. So she's literally telling me everything that I already know. And I'm just like, when are you gonna figure out that we know each other? So we get to the second mixer, and I said, Morgan, come on, let's have a seat, let's talk. So we sit down and we start talking because it was on my mind like crazy. And I say, Morgan, take my phone number down. I don't have my phone on me. So Morgan goes, puts my phone number in. She calls it, and my name pops up. So then she looks at the name, and she looks at me like, we know each other. I'm like, yes, we know each other. I want to see how long it's gonna take you to figure this out.
So it was only one night on the app. What made you not, pursue that?
Ma, to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I don't know if I was in a weird place to be honest with you, and I just downloaded it, and I think it was more for conversation and getting to know people. And I feel like maybe I was like, you know what? I dived in a little bit. I tested the waters, but I'm really not ready. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe that's what it was. Unconsciously, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not as ready as I think I am. So let me just back off.
I like that. And Camille is saying Morgan is pretty, but not listen. I was very pretty when I met my husband. This prettiness is not gonna carry you through the marriage. Do you understand me? It is more than being a pretty girl when you're meeting somebody. It has to be substance. All right. I thank you UK. Yeah, we appreciate you. So I'm thanking God. Listen, I'm an African woman. I pray. I'm a Christian. I am happy that you never went to that route of trying to pursue this girl. All right. Now, Anthony,
What's up, Ma? What you got?
we
What you got?
continue. We continue with this Ready to Love, and you now have Suen, you have Mercedes, and you have at that point it is just Suen and Mercedes because you are not introduced to Cynthia yet.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
Talk to me about what you're seeing in Suen and Mercedes. Those two girls.
I think automatically, Suan physically is beautiful. Definitely. Suan's smile, like I remember seeing her smile from across the room. It was just like wow, like it just drew me in. She had the biggest, brightest smile that I had seen that whole day. She was so welcoming. So that, and then finding out, she was a mother of two, just her
Mhm.
personality. Like I didn't even get that big time lawyer talk or anything that when I've met previous lawyers that they've come across. Like what I mean. I didn't get that at all from somewhere, and I got what do you call it? I got a woman down to soft, gentle, kind. Like she really asked the right questions, so we hit it off at the mixer.
What about Mercedes?
Mercedes, her personality is amazing. Like she's so bubbly, she's so great. She's so sweet. She's
Yes.
like a sweetheart, and her accent is just amazing. And then she hit me with the, she said some little catchphrase she would say. She said, "So I could be like a stepmommy without the body." Something like that. She said, and I thought it was cute. So I was like, she's probably
She
the
is.
cute. Yeah.
She is. She's actually, she gives like positive energy and positive vibes. So I can see that. I can also see that with Marcia. Now she canceled my interview, but it's okay. I'm not catching feelings. but she's a good girl. Marcia has some kind of positive energy. I can see that. I can see that. Um, so now you Cynthia is introduced, and that changes everything. Correct?
Hmm. To be honest with you, not at first though. Cynthia's introduced at the mixer. I saw her walk in, and I just looked the other way, and I kept it moving. Um, I looked at her, and automatically, I kind of went into like, okay, cool. This is like the typical girl that I see every day in Miami that I encounter. So I was trying to stay away from it, to be honest with you. We crossed paths that day at the mixer once. We said, "Hey, how you doing?" We didn't get a chance to speak, so we kept it moving. Later on that day, we went to the group date with all the fellas and her. I think I might have asked her two questions because the other guys were like, like Dre was just going back and forth with her. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let them have this. I'm gonna just chill right here so I don't get fined and just chill. It wasn't until the boat when we actually sat down, had a conversation, and I really got to see her mentally and see what she was about and hear her speak that I was like, okay, you know what? This is somebody that I need to pay attention to.
And that continues. You continue to pursue Cynthia, but then you realize you're not the only one who is pursuing Cynthia. You have the guy with the ponytail over here, which I don't get why you guys never please helped him with his ponytail and tell him you cannot be on national television with this kind of a ponytail or this kind of a hairstyle. You cannot do that. You know what I mean? Why were you not, guys, your brother's keeper? To let the dude know you're not cute.
Mod, how do I look like as a man telling another man you're not cute? I need you to do something with your hair. How does that look, Mod? Be for real. Seriously? Come on. You know our culture ain't even like that. Come on.
I agree. I agree. Well, so then at what point do you realize, you're competing with him? Not really a competition, but, Cynthia has eyes on you and Andrea or Andre.
Mod, I was so tunnel vision, I wasn't even like I'm competing with this girl. Like literally, I just like I'm getting to know this girl. Like I stayed in my lane. I ran my course, I ran my race, and I just focused on me at the end of the day.
Mm, I love that. I love that. Okay, so then she keeps, okay, so you decide, so then we are moving on and you're meeting James, Cynthia's father of, her partner, the father of her two children, and you have this
Hmm.
conversation which and in fact the guy with the ponytail, I applaud him, because if there was any other man who would have walked away because of the questions. Was that a red flag for
Hmm.
you in that meeting? Were you like, oh my gosh, I like Cynthia, I'm feeling Cynthia, but yo, am I gonna have to deal with this? And that's what you said in your confession. You said, do I have to deal with this for the rest of my life?
It's true. Being at a place in your life where you have peace. You know what I'm saying? You don't have anybody banging down your door. You don't have no problems. You have anybody calling your phone, cursing you out. You totally at peace. It's definitely a red flag when you see this and you're like, well, damn, like she's stuck with this man for the rest of her life. Like this is the man that's gonna possibly come to my door and picking up his kids. You know what I mean? Like his kids go home to him and he's acting this way. How do I know that, his kids might not take that energy and bring that back home with them as well? So those are all
Mm.
things that you think about being in that kind of situation. So it definitely took me off guard. I definitely was set back to it. I had to really evaluate, have a conversation with her about it, and just kind of just, to be honest with you, I was just praying on it. I was just like, Lord, help me with this one. Help me figure this out.
Well, you did very good. You did very good. So then you continue, having interest on Cynthia. You introduce Cynthia to your cousin, whom at this point now you're letting him know, yo, I'm on this show, because you had not let him know. You did not tell him that you're ready to laugh until when, Anthony?
I introduced her to my best friend previously, who was a woman. Um, and then I introduced her to my cousin later on. I introduced her to my cousin because literally he's more than a cousin to me. He's like a little brother. He's also a nurse as well. he follows in my footsteps. So I mentor him a lot. So he sees me through everything, my
Oh.
failed relationships, my up and down. So he really has a dialect of what I need, what I want in a woman.
Mhm.
Literally, his daughter is my goddaughter. You know, so we're really that close.
Mm.
I should have brought a woman to that. I should have brought one of my female cousins to that because he looked at her and I feel like he heard what she was saying, but maybe he was so distracted that, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, she's speaking so well, and maybe he might have
Mhm.
missed a couple key things that he should have caught on to at
Right.
the time.
I agree, and I agree with bringing in a female because we would have looked past the looks. When you bring a guy, Cynthia is coming there. Cynthia is a beautiful girl, so then you're
Right,
clouded.
exactly.
Your questioning is very clouded. When you look at that ass, you're like, oh, okay, Anthony, sign up, and
Yo, Ma said when you look
which
at
might not
that
be.
ass. But exactly, I get you. I
But
get you.
yeah, you know what I mean. I wish it because you meet with Cynthia's family. They're all women, very strong women. They are questioning you. They are bringing all this very good questioning, though. The line of questioning, I loved it.
Right.
What is your
Those
mindset
women
going,
can.
answering all those questions?
Um, I was ready for it, to be honest with you. Those questions were outrageous. Those are typical questions that I feel like strong, firm family members would ask somebody. They would have asked any of the easy stuff, and I'd probably been like, yeah, they probably don't even care about you too much. But they asked the hard hitting, down to earth questions. And a lot of people didn't see the full scene because they didn't really show why those three women were crying. What I asked them to make them come out and threaten me the way that they were. You know,
Yes.
so I pretty much asked them. I said, you guys have been in Cynthia's life for a very long time. She told me she confides in you guys for everything. You guys have helped her through a lot. Um, Tell me, what is it that Cynthia had to do to be the woman that she is today? What does she have to go through? So that's when they all started taking their turns and talking and crying and giving me their little threats.
Mm. I can imagine that can be very emotional, as a black woman. And Cynthia has businesses going on. She's accomplished quite a bit. And so when you hear other people praising you, really, you get emotional with that. You know what I mean? Did that make you, really kind of start, loving her, like your connection growing even more? Hearing what people who know her best singing praises.
I think anything that anybody added to the table at that point was a bonus as far as getting to know Cynthia. I had already been on the phone with this woman day and night, night and day. Like she was the first person that I spoke to in the morning, the last person I fell asleep speaking to during the day. So I was pretty locked in at that point, and I knew who she was to my understanding at least. You know.
Mhm. So then you get to this getaway, and Cynthia is still torn at that point. You and Mercedes is ruled out. She's a good girl, but she's not yet ready to settle down. We can clearly see that. So you get to the getaway and you realize the only Swan says, yo, she's already here with Blake. um so the only connection you have there, she's like, Anthony, you're too late. And I love Suen, and I actually respect Blake. So at that point, you realize, the only connection I have over here is Cynthia. Was there any pressure on your part to be like, I don't want to be eliminated. I want to get to the end. I don't want to be eliminated. What is going on with you at that point?
So I'll be completely honest with you. Coming into this journey, and when I found out what this show was about, and then I found out there was an elimination process to it. Um, I didn't care when I went home if I didn't have my person. Like I felt like if I found my person, then cool. If I didn't find my person, then cool. But I really went into it very optimistic that I would be in an environment with a lot of adults that were where I am in life and wanted the same things that I wanted. That was my expectations walking into it. So if I felt like Cynthia was gonna go Dre's way. I wouldn't have stopped her at all. I wouldn't have tried to convince her at all. I'm like, cool, that's your person. I'd attack production, say, hey, how do you want me to exit? What you want me to do? You know, because my person is not here. It wasn't about making it to the end for me. There's no prize in making it to the end. People don't understand that.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like you don't get no cookies, you don't get no show, you don't get no check, no like there's no prize in making it to the end. You know, other than maybe the adult, like maybe the public's opinion, which don't go far because they don't know you.
Hmm. You said at some point you realized what this show is all about. When did you realize that? Because did you watch the show prior to you joining Pray to Love
That's a good
Miami?
question. So prior to me joining, I looked it up because I wanted to know what it was, and I saw all the seasons that had happened. So at that point, I was so curious and I was so nervous that I watched the first episode, The Mixer, from maybe 3 or 4 seasons because I wanted to know what to expect, what am I walking into. Another time that I watched the show was when I heard people talk about the getaway. People kept talking about it so much, and I was so oblivious to it. I'm like, yo, let me watch what be going on in these getaways because I don't want to run into something that I don't know what I'm about to get into. Like, what we doing? Like, we doing adult stuff on this getaway? Like, like, what's going on? The way people was talking about it, you know? But then being in a situation, I understand it just was an environment with your connections in one place for a weekend that can get really, really awkward. That's why I wanted to kind of end my storyline with Mercedes and Sunan so that it stopped being so awkward. You know what I mean?
I respect that. And we saw that, and we saw that. So then you're not feeling any pressure. You'd be like, you know what? I am complete. I am the whole package. If you don't see that, bye. Um, I was catching feelings, to be honest with you. When you're on the beach, you're massaging the feet of this woman. All right, there are pillows everywhere, and I was
Yeah, yeah,
waiting for
yeah.
that kiss, that romantic kiss. You know what I mean? I did not find it. At that point, I said,
Hey, Ma, you know what's crazy about that situation? I heard you say that. I heard you say that many times. They didn't even show it. Like I was literally like feeding this woman shrimp on the beach. Like I was feeding her and stuff on the beach. They cut that part out. I don't know why. And then we took a walk on the beach afterwards. We like in the water, jumping, playing around. Like it was like this whole romantic thing going on. They didn't even show that. These people crazy. These editors. Like that warmed my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like being there. So no, I didn't feel no type of way. I didn't get a kiss that day. You know, I never even brought it up to her after that to find out, you know,
mm,
why. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if I really wanted it, I should have took it. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't take it that day. It was so hot out there. We had a lot going on. That was actually one of the first dates that I actually got to plan. Well, I actually planned like 2 or 3, but that was one of the dates that I actually got to plan because we don't plan our dates. You know, so I was on the phone with production at midnight the night before, like planning it, like, yo, I need this, I need this, I need this, like, give me this, and everything. So I probably was exhausted too. I didn't even think about it.
so when you're going on this date, does production prepare you? Like, you have to ask this, you have to act like this. Does production prepare you for this kind of dates?
As far as that one, that particular one, um, no, they just said, look, Anthony, we realized that you know, we about to finish up. You and Cynthia obviously have chosen each other or leaning towards that direction. So ask those questions, be comfortable, be romantic, you know what I'm saying? Show her what life with you is gonna be like. You know what I mean? So now like lay it on her a little bit, you know. So I was able to do that. We had very interesting conversations on that date, and you know, I massaged her feet, and it was just very, it was a romantic vibe. We had wine, champagne. They delivered fruit and shrimp and all that good stuff. So it was good.
You sure did. You sure did. I was like, yes. So then you continue, and then so you guys choose each other, right? So am I missing
Mhm.
something? No. At that point, you're towards choosing each other, right?
Yeah,
Which up until that time we could see Cynthia as a viewer. I'm still seeing Cynthia very torn, and I don't get why this woman is torn, right? I mean, the other dude has nothing, like not checking for you, but you're still torn. Okay, okay. So Cynthia is continuing to be a viewer. torn, all right, and you choose each other. When do you choose each other after? So the show continues. When do you choose each other, and when does the reunion happen? After you choose each other, how long does it take for the reunion to happen?
We
What the
chose
time
each
frame on
other.
that?
We chose each other August 6th. The reunion happened December 1st.
August, and the reunion happens when?
December 1st.
Okay, okay. So August to December. So you've been dating up until the reunion. Am I right with that? Okay, give me some time frame, Anthony. Please help me over here. Okay, so then
All right,
you
so
choose each other.
yeah. We chose each
What
other.
happened?
Life started happening. Life started happening. Long story short, they put us in a situation where people we don't know. You know what I mean? Like we don't know these people, unfortunately.
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and things just happen. Like life start happening. Like you start to get to really see people. You start to realize that people have a lot more going on in their life than they led you to believe. You know, and mind you, nobody's perfect. Relationships take
Yeah.
work, love takes work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just certain things that you as a person, where you are in life, that you decide that you want to deal with and you don't want to deal with. And that's okay. You know what I mean? Especially early on in the process, especially early on when getting to know somebody. And you start to see these things. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
look, this ain't for me, you know? And it's hard. It's even harder when you're expressing yourself to people and they're not understanding or grasping what you're trying to say or where they're wrong, you know. And me personally, I'm not gonna sit here as a grown man and try to undo what you've been used to your whole life.
Yes.
I can't do it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So you just have to part ways with
Mm-hmm.
people. And we did it after a lot of back and forth on trying to see each other eye to eye, and where there was a huge gap in communication. There was a lot that was omitted. You know what I'm saying? We just decided to just
Mm-hmm.
part ways, you know. So we actually
When?
started.
When?
We were going strong for almost 2 months. I want to
So
say maybe
you continue dating. You continue dating for about 2 months.
yeah, probably a little less than 2 months.
Little less than 2 months. Okay. So you're
Mhm.
going to the reunion. When was the last time you've talked to her prior to the reunion? You're going to the reunion in December. When was the last time you had a conversation with
That
her?
I want to say like September, the end of September probably.
Get out.
Yeah, probably the end of September.
Really? So when she is over here telling people, telling us, the viewers at the reunion, I did not handle Anthony right. What is that all about? I know you cannot go to details, but what is that about? I mean, when and she kept talking about that, I did not handle him right. I mean, were you expecting to be handled a certain way by Cynthia?
I feel like that's so vague when you say that. You know what I'm saying? You can handle somebody right without giving full details. I would rather have heard, hey, we went through our obstacles. I didn't understand what he was saying because I was used to a certain kind of man, but now I was experiencing this kind of man, and I wasn't used to what he holds as high standards. I think people would have gotten a better gist of that. You know what I mean? Other than I didn't handle him right. That's just so vague. It could be like, damn, were you beating me up? Like, were you verbally abusing me? Like, what was going
Yes.
on? You know what
No,
I'm saying?
that's what we
So,
thought.
right.
Yes.
So it's just look. I just don't deal like I don't like toxicity. I don't like craziness in my life. Like I said, I'm at peace. I don't want to be arguing with nobody. I don't want to go back and forth. I want you to say what it is and allow me to make the decision on whether I want to deal with it or not. Don't hold nothing back from me. Like give it to me raw. I'm gonna ride with you. I'm gonna ride with you. If I'm not, then cool. We're gonna dap it up. We're gonna say, hey, it's not for us. We're gonna move on. But you gotta give people the option and the opportunity to make a decision.
I love that. I love that. I love you responded to that because when she said I never handled him right, and I was talking to my friends, and they were like, maybe she was very aggressive, or in her, whether it's tone, whether it's the mannerism, and the Cynthia that we saw on TV, we never saw a Cynthia who is aggressive, right? We never saw a Cynthia who is combative, right? Even when she was
Right.
competing with Jeffrey, she was never, combative in any way. And so when she comes there, I never handled Anthony. I mean, it confused all of us. And at that point, I started looking at her with some side eyes, like, yo, girl, you know? And I start seeing some red flags, even going back to James, the father of our children. And I like what he said, if she's used to this kind of love, then you're not here as Anthony. You have your daughter. You're not here to start, instilling values in an adult. You cannot teach an old dog new tricks. They say that in Africa.
Camille said a little crazy is good. I agree with you. A little crazy is good, but it
A
goes
little
along.
crazy is good.
I don't mind a woman that's a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't mind. Every woman has some crazy. I'm sorry to say it, women, but every woman has crazy. But it's just a little bit deeper than crazy. I never said it was crazy. I never used those terms. You know what I'm saying? So
A little is crazy is good. Listen, this is what has carried me through in my 15 years of marriage because I'm a little bit crazy. So I get that. But there's also some craziness that you'll be like, I'm not going to condone this. But anywho, so you get to the reunion and you're saying, you know what? You told us in December, because that's when the reunion happened. You say that, you know what? She says she's going to work on herself. So I'm going to give her time and put her words into action. When did you call it quits? You'll be like, you know what, bye. I respect you because I think you and Cynthia are still cool. You have been doing lives on IG, so you're still cool. You still respect each other. At what
now
point
hold
did
on.
you
What
say,
was
you
your
know
question?
what, this is it, I'm done?
Well, I said at the reunion. I said at the reunion that right now, I just want to work on a friendship. To be honest with you, and that's still where I stand. I feel like being in the RTL process, we were so quick to be romantically involved with people that we forgot that friendship aspect of things. And I feel like when you have a friend, you treat a friend a certain way. And when you're in a relationship, you treat that person with a little less regard than you do your friend. So if I don't have a friendship foundation with somebody, then I
Mm-hmm.
don't want it. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we
Right.
definitely lack that component early on.
I like that. It is true. I agree with you. For every relationship to last, it has to be that friendship foundation that has to carry you guys through. Um, so now, okay, so now you call it quits with things, Cynthia, and I've been checking. You're one of the most interesting guy that I've been very interested in on IG. I see you out there, doing your thing, and I see you trying to like,
Mod,
are you
what's my
dating
thing?
somebody?
What's my thing, Mod? What's my thing? What am I doing? What's my thing? Elaborate for me.
Anthony, my friend, are you dating Jamala from Ready to Love Miami last season?
No, Mod, no. You gotta remember, Miami is a small place. You know what I mean? So season one and
But did
season
you
two
go on
came
vacation
out.
with Jamala?
I went on vacation with a group of us. Jamala just happened to be sitting 2 seats down from me and showed that. But it was a bunch of us on that vacation. I got pictures to prove it. You know what? I'm gonna make a reel for you. I'm gonna make a reel and I'm gonna show all of us that was on that vacation together.
Okay. So now
I
that
got you.
you are a catch, though you are a catch, and you're a
Thank you. I
true
appreciate that.
gentleman. Your mom should be very proud of the man that you have become. Why
They
are you
definitely
still
are.
single, Anthony? Why are you still single? Oh, are you
Miami
still
is
single though? I don't know whether you're
I
single.
I am. I definitely am. Miami is trash. To be honest with you, excuse my term. South Florida is trash with dating. It's just you just never know what or who you're gonna get at one time. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of taking things one day at a time. I go off vibes. I go off energy. And if I meet somebody, then I meet them. I don't know. It's crazy out here. When you a man that don't, as you can see, I don't lust and chase after every woman. Like that's just not me. Like I love women with substance. I love women with standards. And that's just how I move. That's how I operate. So I'm not gonna go around trying to chase every woman just because they have a skirt. Like that doesn't drive me. You know what I'm saying? So I need more. I need more to keep my attention. Yeah, your
Mm-hmm.
physical might catch my eye, but your mind is what's gonna keep me. You know what I mean? So that's just how I
And
move. It might be weird or whatever, but it's just me. It gives me peace. It's just where I am right now in my life.
and I think I am very proud of what you've said. And I'm always rooting for you. Whether the season has ended, I'm always gonna be checking on you. But I like the way you said, because listen, nowadays men seem to think that it's all about the looks. I can go over there and have my wig and fake hair. I can go over there and have fake boobs. I can have a fake ass. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens when that fades away and there's no
Yeah,
substance to carry you through? It's what I keep telling people.
I agree, man. Look, I take care of those women all the time. Through my business, I treat those women that just get these surgeries done and everything, and I'm just like, gosh, that's just not for me. It's just not. It's not my cup of tea, you know. And when you deal with those kind of women, you have to deal with what comes with those kind of women,
With it.
and that is out of
Mm,
my lane. That's out of my lane. I'm good.
right.
I'm gonna stay on this side of the
Wow.
highway. I'm gonna let you stay on that side.
Mm. I like that. I like, not because I care so much about you and you're still single. I'm gonna have to hook you up with my African people. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we're done with Miami. We have to introduce some African people in your life. You know,
Hey,
no
bring them on. I'm,
fakeness,
I'm always
no
good.
fake boobs, no nothing.
No,
They
nothing
come
natural
real as
women.
they are.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's definitely what's
So
up.
the show ends, the reunion ends, and then we are hitting, everybody is talking about Blue and his legal issues and how he lied and took money from PPP. And don't act like you don't know Anthony. I know you guys know about it. Do you talk about it as a cast? Do you know that your dude has been sentenced to 2 years in prison and he has to pay over $500,000 to the people that he
So
defrauded? And he's over there acting like he's a gentleman. I'm disappointed. What are you guys talking about when you see all these things on the headlines?
to be honest with you, when I woke up and I saw it and I saw the messages, I was shocked, But I haven't personally talked to him. I've reached out a couple of times and I haven't heard back from him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the details. Um,
Mm.
I don't know. I just gotta wish him the best, and if he needs anything, I hope he reach out to one of us. It's a horrible situation to be into, And like I said, we don't know the details behind it, so we
We
don't
know the
speak on
details.
it.
We know the details.
Um,
Ah, 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 ah. We know the details. Dude lied. Dude took money from PPP. We know the details. Blue, don't come over here looking for help. Pay back the money. Okay? Don't come over here looking
but
for help from Anthony. Pay back the money.
Ma, we just gotta wish him the best, man. And wish him the
We
best.
can,
Hope it works
what
out
we
for
can
him.
do is we can
That's
pray.
it.
We can pray for him while he's in prison, serving the 2 years that he deserves and paying back the money that he took from the people. Listen, he's a black man. I don't
Ma.
think we are not extending
Look,
grace, Anthony. We are not extending grace on this. You want us to extend? Why do
I
you want us to
understand,
extend
man.
grace?
I get where you're coming from, man. I get where you're coming from. I mean,
I have two sons. I have two sons.
mm,
No matter what happens, is that your daughter?
somebody wants to say hi. Say hi, baby.
Oh my God. Hi.
All right, go. Get out of here.
Hi, baby girl.
Yeah, go ahead. Go eat. Close my
Oh
door.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's precious. That's precious. See, as parents, we try to instill discipline to our children so that when we are away and we give them out, like they go to this world, we pray that they're gonna make the right decisions. No
Right,
matter
right, right.
how it is, no matter how difficult it gets, I know my children will never sit down and calculate how they're going to take advantage of a situation that to benefit themselves. That's being selfish.
Yeah.
I don't instill that in my children. That's what I'm saying. I'm over here celebrating black men. I'm over here celebrating black women. But we
Yeah.
have sometimes when you get into situations that you have allowed yourself to be in situations like this, while we are still praying for you, we are also saying, yo, be accountable for the things that you have done. That's what I'm saying with Blue. I
And
respected
I'm
him.
sure he
He
is.
was a gentleman on. Mhm.
I'm
Go
sure he
ahead.
is taking accountability. I'm sure he's taking accountability for it. Like I said, I don't know the details. Um, I don't know. A lot of things happen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do a lot of things under other people's names. A lot of people are doing things and they don't know that it's being done. So there's just so many different situations to it. You know what I'm saying? Well, like I said, he
Mhm.
hasn't verbalized it to any of us. We haven't talked to him. You never know what that man could have gotten into that somebody else put him into. We don't know. We just know that the law is saying what they're saying. So at the end of the day, until it comes out of his mouth, if
What
it
we
ever
know
comes out of his
is
mouth, then
what we know is the money that he took for PPP, he bought a BMW that was too old, all right, was extremely old. Okay, that we know for sure. And he's been trying to impress girls on Miami streets. That we know. Okay, that we know. We cannot extend grace on that one. All right.
I hear you,
Yeah,
Ma. I
you're just being
respect
a
it.
gentleman.
I
You're
respect it,
just being
Ma.
a
I
gentleman.
respect it.
I get that. I get that. I would be, oh my gosh, I'll be devastated if you did such kind of an act. But then again, Anthony's not gonna do that. Anthony is in the
Hey,
business of
I'm
helping
not.
other people.
I'm not built for jail, so I don't
I
do
know that.
things to make me go to jail. You know what I mean? I'm not. Look at my big grown age. I'm trying to enjoy my life. I'm not trying to lose no time on me. Life is already too short. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm. In your life, in your career as a nurse practitioner, tell us one of most changing situation that you, and I know you're not going to give us the names of that, but tell us one of those most changing situations that you found yourself in that changed your life, changed your perspective, of the way you live. Give us a story or an experience you have had in the hospital that really changed, your perspective in life.
it's so crazy that you asked me this question. No, nobody else has ever asked me this question as far as interviews before, and it just goes to show, how much substance that you want to have and how much you appreciate what I do. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say one of the things that really changed my perspective in medicine was COVID, and it wasn't even the first wave of COVID. I think it was the second wave of COVID that we had after. Later on, I think it was 2021-ish in Florida where we had our surge. And I was working in my ICU. I worked in the closed bed ICU, and I run the ICU at night, so I'm the only provider there. Um, I got a surge of pregnant women that had COVID that couldn't breathe. So at that point, I would get called to the maternity ward to take care of them, to treat them. But I couldn't treat these women because they were pregnant. So I'll have to coordinate with their OBGYN to do an emergency C-section with these women and bring them to my ICU. And I think the thing that disturbed me the most about this situation was once these women had these babies and we took them out of the OR and we brought them to the ICU, I want to say 90% of these women never got to see their babies again. Um, they didn't make it to the point where like I literally was fighting for these women with their lives as far as trying to get them to be compliant. But when you can't breathe, a lot of things mentally aren't working. You can't follow directions. You can't comprehend certain things. And I knew that once I put these women on these breathing machines and put a tube down their throat, I would not be able to get them off. So I literally was working day and night. Like I would call the hospital in the middle of the daytime because I work night shift. Like, yo, are we doing this? Are we doing that? Are we doing that? In order to get these women to be compliant so that we can get them home to their babies. But like I said, I think I only know maybe one, maybe two women out of this whole situation that actually made it home to their kids, but the rest of them didn't get to see their kids, and that hit me in a different way. It definitely hit me.
Did you have that's I don't know what to say about that. I mean I don't know how you make those calls to the family that she just did not make it. It's that
Yeah,
changes you.
yeah.
That is
It does.
beyond.
It is rough, man. Have to call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, explain to them that their family members didn't make it. I think the worst part about that is, too, they haven't even seen their family members because the hospital was locked down, so they couldn't come and visit. So they literally would have to call in to find out how your family members are doing, or we would have to FaceTime them so they could see them. So it's like you're getting a call from a person that you haven't seen in weeks, and you don't even know how they've been treated. You don't even know how they look. You know what I mean? You're just hearing that they're not here anymore.
What was the percentages in the race? Were there so many black people, women, or what the race percentage on that?
To be honest with you, it was black and Hispanic women, to be completely honest with you. I don't remember me having to do this with any Caucasian women. It was black and Hispanic. Matter of fact, at the time when it happened, I was calling my friends who had been pregnant or anybody I know that was pregnant. And I was like, look, I know y'all can agree with this vaccine, but please try to think about getting this vaccine because all these women were not vaccinated. Not one of these women who went through this was vaccinated. So I was trying to think of maybe we could get ahead of this. You know what I mean? If I had a vaccinated woman that would have dealt with this, and I would scratch my head and be like, you know what? Okay, cool. Maybe we need to take a different look at this. But
Did you have during that time you had to quarantine? How long did you stay without? I know you love your daughter. One of the things that we fell in love with is taking pride in taking care of your daughter. How long did you stay without seeing her around that time?
so what I did was I rented a hotel room close to my hospital. So I literally was just going to, I would work like 7 to 14 days straight and just go from the hospital, hotel. Before I would go home, I made sure I got COVID tested before I went home so that I knew I wasn't bringing it back home to her. So I would go literally like a week or two at a time without seeing her. I think the most that I've ever gone without seeing her during COVID was a month. I just stayed away for like a month.
My gosh, what did that teach you in life? Like life after COVID, Anthony, life before COVID, Anthony, life after COVID.
Life after COVID was we have no control of anything. We really have no control. I don't care what anybody says, what anybody does. Like when something wants to hit us and take us out, something wants to affect us. It's literally nothing that anybody can do about it. So you need to make sure that you just live your life right, love the people that are in your life, um, and just try to move a certain way. And I think that's why like I hold myself to a certain standards as well. Because if you don't have standards in life, like you want to deal with things that's just not going to be suited to you in your life, and you don't have that much life to give up. So why give it up to people that just don't understand you, don't want to understand you?
Wow, Anthony, I listen. Listen. We really appreciate you for being here and speaking and speaking. Telling us more about this and yeah, just being on this platform. I really appreciate you. My gosh, my gosh. Now that you're in forties, is there anything that you tell your younger self? Not living through life. Do you have any regrets getting to this show? Please don't say you have any regrets because I would not have met you. Okay. No regrets about that. But do you
As
have
far as
any
being on the
regrets?
show, I don't have any regrets being on Love and Ready to Love. Excuse me. Um, it taught me so much about myself. It opened me up a little bit more. I met some amazing people who I would forever be connected with. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
like
saying?
me.
As
You
far
know me, like me.
exactly, I got you all day. As far as what I would tell my younger self, I would tell my younger self as a man to, in order for you to be successful in life and to make it and have any kind of respect, Work on you. Work on your craft. Get your education. Do not go messing with nobody's daughter unless you are able to support that woman and whatever comes out of it. Literally. Like don't entertain it, don't do nothing, go work 2 to 3 jobs, go get an education, get a home, build your credit, drive a nice car, like literally live your life and have your life in a certain way so that when you do bring a woman into your life, you're able to support that woman and whatever comes with it. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I would tell my younger self. Definitely just put all the childish behaviors away, all the partying, um, following the friends, and just do you. Live in your own lane. Live for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you came in this world alone. You're gonna leave alone.
I love that. I love that. One of the critics or criticism that Rachel Love Show is receiving is that they're going taking everybody as long as you're a handsome man, a black man, tall. They don't care even you have a career. As long as oh, you're gonna come to Miami, we're gonna recruit you for the show. We know there's people over there from your cast that never lived in Miami. They were sleeping on other people's couch. You're not going to mention names because you're not going to be messy when Anthony is around. But we know people who are really not from Miami. What do you say about that? Like the show should the show really focus on people like you, Anthony, who've been grown and brought up in Miami, experience, you learn, be like it's me in Buffalo. I know all the streets over. I know how life is in Buffalo. You know, wouldn't you want the show to recruit people who really live in the city, not just because of their
So, so
appearances?
I'm gonna tell you when I found out that there were people on the show that didn't live here, I was so like thrown back because I'm like, so you really about to have me out here falling in love with somebody's daughter that don't live here? Like literally, you about to put me in a situation of a long distance relationship when I thought that everybody was from here. I was thrown back by that. But then I had to think about it. First of all, for one, who wants to have their whole life displayed on TV? Who actually lives on the straight and narrow where you could be on TV and actually be yourself and not get crucified? Because a lot of people don't live right. So a lot of people will run away from this kind of opportunity because they're like, I can't be on TV. Like I got like 3 wives, I got 3 boyfriends, I got this going on, I got that going on. I can't be on a national TV show. I'm still being a play out
Yes.
here. That would expose me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So a lot of people can't do it. A lot of
Yes.
people can't take the time off of work as well to do it. It's a long time off of work. It's about a month and a half off of work to be able to do this show. And a lot of people can't do it. That's why you have the people that you have. You have the entrepreneurs. You have the people who work out of office, who work from home. So when you require so much out of people, it's going to decrease the caliber of people that you can get on a show like this. Like me, it was just, and that's why I say with me, it probably was meant to be because my work schedule is crazy. So I literally was popping in and out of the hospital when I could. And they gave me grace. Like I really got grace and I really got lucky to be able to do this show. So when I got the opportunity and I made it work, I was like, you know what? This is meant for me to do
And I think that's why we never got to, or we never fell in love with you initially, up until the show continued and we got to see more of Anthony. I remember people asking when we were doing a panel with Kamisha, people kept asking, "Where is the doctor? Why are we not seeing the doctor?" You know what I'm
it.
saying? They were referring to
He
you.
gotta work, he gotta work, he got life to take care. But no, too, like if I feel like too with the show, they kept me on the bench so long, because they wanted to kind of show the other people that were going to get off soon. So they wanted to give them a storyline. They wanted to give them their time. But too, they didn't put any of the amazing dates that I had, the amazing conversations that I had. They made me seem like I was just this reserved, quiet person that didn't approach women, didn't know how to talk to women, which wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? That as you're seeing, it's not the case because I had a number of connections
Yes.
with women. You got to see that when we met the exes. So I feel like they didn't show enough of me because I'm too normal.
Mhm. You're too normal. I agree. I
I'm too
agree with
normal.
that.
Yeah.
Is did you get any skills from the show? Did you learn anything that might help you in the next relationship? Is there anything you learned? Even nothing?
Um, Keep following through with your discernment. Like my discernment is strong. It is strong. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was able to kind of avoid certain things and be quiet, kind of analyze everybody in a different way. So I think this made my discernment a little bit stronger with things and choosing women and just what I want in my life and what I want to pursue and what I don't want to pursue.
I love that. I love that. I was also told that production was a little bit aggressive. What was, did you experience it with production? Were they like, you know what, Anthony, you don't have to continue with the show? Did you have any female producers over there telling you, yo, Anthony, you don't have to continue the show? I'm single, you're
I think,
single. Let.
oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh, that's so messy. Oh, oh. I never got that. Like I said, maybe I wasn't aggressive enough. They didn't really see me that way, but I didn't get that energy from them. I didn't get it at all. I don't know. I feel like these days it's really rare for women to appreciate a really low key, chill, not aggressive man like me that just want to go off flow with energy and vibes. You know what I mean? Not that come here, girl. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Don't get me wrong. When she my girl, then I'm like, hey, babe, come here, give me this kiss. Like, I don't put her here at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she my lady, though. But not just meeting you. Slipping right into that role.
I love that. I love that. Well, I appreciate you so very much for being here, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. You're the only gentleman that there was on Ready to Love Miami. This is no shade, it is true fact. Facts. I can see so many people, speaking on this. We appreciate you. I appreciate, you giving your services to the people who really need it the most. Continue doing that. We are rooting for you as a single dad. I cannot listen. I told you, you're not gonna be single anymore. I got you. You know
I'm
what
not
I,
a, so I'm
you
not
know,
a single dad. I'm a dad that just happens to
yeah,
be
well,
single.
I should take that back. Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I
I
mean.
got you. I feel you.
Not a
I feel
single
you. I
dad,
got
but
you.
you're not. It's not a two parent house. You know what I'm saying? It is a
No,
two parent. I mean, she's
I
getting
got it.
everything.
I got it. I got it. She does. She
Yeah,
definitely does.
yeah. You know what I mean? But I want to hook you up with my African people. You know what I'm saying? You
I
are
tell
an
you what. Go ahead
handsome,
and go
intelligent
ahead and
guy.
drop their information in my DM. You got it. I'll let you know what I think, and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Do you have? I'm gonna put in your ID. You all guys go follow Anthony on his IG. All right,
Yes,
he
all you're
is
gonna
an
see is
excellent
medical
and
stuff.
intelligent guy.
Um, you'll get to see medical stuff. You'll get to see me spending time with my baby girl. I travel a lot. I love traveling as well when I'm not doing my thing here in Miami. But pretty much, I live a very normal, peaceful, tranquil life. So that's what you'll get from me.
So you say you travel a lot. Have you gone to any part in Africa? Have you gone? Have you traveled there? I sent you.
I
I
haven't.
sent you a clip of Africa.
I got it. I appreciate you. Thank you. I actually put it in my travel folder when you sent it to me. I appreciate that. Maybe later on this year, maybe I'll try to do New Year's with you guys at the end of this year. I'm gonna plan it because I'm planning on taking the whole month of December off. So I'm gonna try to do that.
Mm. Yeah. And the first place I want you to visit is Kenya. Don't go anywhere else. Just
Kenya.
Kenya. Go to Kenya first, where I come from. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
It's gonna. I'll hook you up.
All right.
I'll hook you up with the best places.
I appreciate that.
You
Thank
know.
you.
Thank you, Anthony, so much. Sending love to your daughter, to the mother
Thank you. I
of your
appreciate
child.
it.
You guys are doing great. You're raising that daughter to the best that you know how, and we appreciate you so very much. We are
Thank you.
proud
Have
of
a
you,
good
and
one.
we are rooting for you all the way from Buffalo.
Thank you. I
Thank
love you
you,
guys.
Anthony.
Be good.
Continue to.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. There you. All right. Bye. Oh, I cannot. What's happening, you guys? There you have it. Anthony. I don't know what's going on. This was fun, you guys. Oh my gosh. Excited to have Anthony here. Super fun. Super, a gentleman, intelligent, doing amazing things in Miami in healthcare. He's a nurse practitioner. He amazing. I'm rooting for him. He can no longer continue being single. Uh, Camille, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Camille, Dr. Hazel. We should say it. We shall be celebrating Dr. Hazel too very soon. Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. This was fun, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am your girl, the undisputed African queen. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Bye, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Bye, everybody.